Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with a Spain news update. We'll have a look at some of the main stories that have caught my attention over the last couple of days or so. We'll also take a look at some of the comments that have been left in the comment section on videos recently. Now let's get straight into the news, and it's been a big week for politics here in Spain. Lots of deals being done behind the scenes with the Catalan separatist groups and the central government, and a lot of Spaniards are wondering who is running the country, Pedro Sánchez or Carles Puigdemont, because it seems that whatever Mr. Puigdemont asks for, he gets. For example, when it comes to immigration, the Catalans want to control their own immigration, and Mr. Sánchez has agreed to that. But what does the transfer of immigration to Catalonia imply? Borders, expulsions, quotas? Catalonia will become the first community to have exclusive powers in immigration matters following the agreement reached last Wednesday in negotiations between the government and Junts. Miriam Noguera, spokesperson for Junts in Congress, stressed that a goal ball has been passed to the Generalitat with the concession of powers in immigration agreed with the PSOE, a goal ball that has been passed to the Generalitat, and we hope that the General, she said in statements to RAC1. Felix Bolaños, Minister for the Presidency, Justice and Relations with the Courts, has not made it clear whether this pact will include sharing border control or expelling foreigners in an irregular situation. So there we go. Mr. Puigdemont wanted control of immigration, and he's got control of immigration for Catalonia because Mr. Sánchez gave in. So the questions a lot of people are asking here is what is going to be next? Because believe me, it's not going to stop at immigration. And as was to be expected, independence politicians in the Basque Country are now also asking for control of immigration there too. So Mr. Sánchez and company apparently happy to bend over and give in to Mr. Puigdemont and company. Last Wednesday was also a big day and a bad day for Vice President Yolanda Diaz because she wasn't able to get one of her important new laws passed in Congress. Why was that? Because Podemos, of all political parties, didn't agree to it. And as we can see here, Yolanda Diaz quoted as saying the PP, Vox and Podemos have cut the rights of the unemployed. The hangover from the bizarre plenary session held this Wednesday in the Senate, in which 2 of the 3 decrees that the government intended to validate were approved, further aggravated the confrontation between Yolanda Diaz and Podemos. The second Vice President and Minister of Employment has lashed out on Thursday morning against Ione Belarra's party for having overturned the decree promoted by her department. The PP, Vox and Podemos have cut the rights of the unemployed, said the leader of Sumar on her arrival at the informal meeting of the EU Labour Ministers in Namur, Belgium, where she also announced that this Friday she plans to close the round of social dialogue to raise the minimum interprofessional wage in 2024. So there we go, a strange headline. Yolanda Diaz quoted as saying that the PP, Vox and Podemos have cut the rights of the unemployed, and I never thought that I would see those 3 political parties used in the same sentence. The PP, Vox and Podemos. Strange times indeed we are living here in Spain. But obviously this is pure revenge by Podemos because they hate Yolanda Diaz's guts. So I reckon, and a lot of people here reckon, that it's going to be a difficult 4 years for Ms. Yolanda Diaz. Another story that has been dominating the press here in Spain related to the Catalan company Grifols and the fact that it was smashed on the stock market the other day after a damaging report was released by an American stockbroker firm. And even as the week progressed, things did not improve for the company. Because as we can read here, Grifols fails to convince. Analysts lack concrete explanations and the share price falls again. Grifols faced a very tough conference call with analysts this lunchtime over the phone in which the press were not allowed to ask questions. The experts who follow the company did, however, and focused their attention on 2 key questions that have remained unanswered. One is the identity of who is behind its subsidiary Scranton, the focus of criticism in the report launched by Gotham City Research last Tuesday, and the second is the separation of the accounts between the parent company and this company in terms of profit and debt. And if we have a look at Grifols' share activity over the last 5 days or so, we can see how it dropped dramatically on January the 9th after that report was released, and it still hasn't recovered, currently 33.17% down over the last 5 days. So not good news for the shareholders of that company Grifols, and apparently today as the stock market opened in Madrid, Grifols continued to suffer, down another 15%. The company is saying that it's innocent of any wrongdoing, but some people would argue that where there's smoke, there's fire. Time will tell. And the final piece of news we'll look at today, and it's some good news for people that own a diesel engine car, because the price of diesel here in Spain is at a 6-month low. As we can read here, diesel at its lowest price since July, €1.49 per litre. The price of diesel has fallen by 0.4% in the last week and has averaged €1.488 per litre, the cheapest price since July last year when it cost €1.465 per litre. On the other hand, a litre of petrol cost an average of 1.536, 0.13% more expensive between the 2nd and 8th of January, which is practically the same as the previous week. According to the European Union Oil Bulletin, which compiles data from more than 11,400 Spanish service stations, diesel has fallen by 2.55% and petrol by 1.4% in the last month, despite small rises in the last 2 weeks. So diesel engine owners here in Spain happy no doubt, because they're paying less every time they fill up their car. Now let's have a look at some of the comments that have been left on videos recently. One here from Stebbs. Stuart, I see you've made it into the Daily Express today in the UK. Yes, Stebbs, thanks for the comment, and thanks to all of the other people that also left a comment saying the same thing, and also to people that sent me an email telling me that I had made the Daily Express. For some reason, the newspaper picked up on a video that I put out last December in which I explained some of the reasons that a person should not move to this country. However, and unfortunately for me, the Express didn't leave a link to the original video, so I didn't see much activity on YouTube. Unlike a previous time I made the press here in Spain, in the local press in Murcia, which did leave a link, and I got a lot of activity as a result. But in any case, it was good to see my ugly mug in the Daily Express, and interesting to read some of the comments left on the article. Check it out. One here from Lonnie. Disturbed by the Cabalgata de Reyes in Sevilla, with hundreds of Rey Baltazar ayudantes in blackface, and photos in other cities have cheering folks in blackface. Some explain it away by Spanish history and culture, but it seems racist to me. Yeah, Lonnie, thanks for the comment, and it's one of those things that has been featuring quite heavily in international press in recent times, but not so much in local press here. And the reason, I believe, is that a lot of people here in Spain don't think twice about this issue. It's something that they have seen all their lives, and a lot of people don't see anything wrong with it. However, and as we saw the other day, some anti-racist groups here in Spain do have a problem with it. But unfortunately for those anti-racist groups, they don't seem to get much traction among mainstream politicians here. Because as I said, a lot of people here are fairly stuck in their ways, and they don't think twice about this issue. So you can mark my words that we'll see the exact same stories about the exact same topic in the exact same press outlets at the exact time next year. One here from John. Thank you for your continued videos centered on Spain, balanced and informative every time. John, Wiltshire, UK, a Brexit-loving country, but not all of us. Yeah, John, thanks for the comment, and glad that you like the videos, and I do try to be informative and as balanced as I can, but believe me, it's not easy. One here from Ottonane. Welcome back to Spain, Stu. Be careful with the official government's newspaper, El País. They always make up the info in favour of the PSOE, and the left always. Ottonane, thanks for the comment, and I am aware and always have been that the El País newspaper leans to the left, and many people, like yourself, say that it is the official mouthpiece of the socialist governments here in Spain, going back to the days of Felipe González in the 1980s. And of course, on the other side of politics here, there are many newspapers, for example, El Mundo. However, what I try to do on this channel is bring news to people from all sides of the political spectrum. I bring news from the far left, the centre right, and the far right, because it's the only way to get an idea of what's going on. Far too many people, in my opinion, only read one side of the news, only listen to one side of the news, and they don't get a complete opinion. And we can see the results of that not only here in Spain, but in many democracies around the world. One here from Barbara. Welcome back, Stu. I hope you had a fantastic time in Perth. It must be hard to return to such cold weather after enjoying the heat of summer. Yeah, Barbara, thanks for the comment, and you're right, it is difficult to adapt to the cold weather, the freezing weather that we have in Madrid currently, after spending 3 weeks in the glorious weather that they have there in Perth. And I did have a fantastic time down under, visiting family and friends, as I always do. And I always find plenty of things to keep me busy down there because, as you guys know, I like the coast, and Perth is a great coastal city. One here from Andrea: hope you're feeling happy to be back in Madrid. Home is home wherever that is. Feeling chilly. I love living in Spain, but always feel too hot in summer and freezing in winter. Let's hope spring comes soon. Concerning the water situation, it has rained a bit last night, but not enough. Government needs to get this problem put on high priority and not wait. Mañana will be here soon. Wishing you a happy return from Andalusia. Yeah, Andrea, thanks for the comment, and it is good to be back in Madrid despite the cold weather, the freezing temperatures that we have at the moment. And I would agree with you when you say that here in Spain you either feel too hot or too cold. There's no in between. And when it comes to the drought situation in some parts of Spain, I also agree with you that the government needs to put it on high priority and stop prioritizing this other rubbish. But politics, unfortunately, is a short-term game and is not good at solving long-term problems. But hey, that's just my opinion. And the final comment here from Philip: so UK citizens aren't allowed to reside in Spain, but Spanish in the UK is okay? Double standards? Yeah, Philip, thanks for the comment, but you are wrong. UK citizens are allowed to reside in Spain. In fact, there are many UK citizens residing in this country, and also people like me from Australia, people from the States who reside here in Spain. We've all gone through the hoops, we've all done the paperwork, and we have our residencies in order. And I imagine that Spaniards living in the UK are also legal residents. We saw the story the other day of a Spanish woman who was not allowed to enter the UK despite having legal residency in that country. Unfortunately, I don't think we know exactly why she was refused entry into the UK, but obviously, for whatever reason, she wasn't able to convince the border agents that she was legally residing in the UK. When I came back to Spain the other day, I had my passport, I also had my residence card on me, and I had to show both documents when I arrived. So there's no double standards going on, Philip. People from the UK can reside legally here, and Spaniards can reside legally in the UK if they have the official documents in order. On that note, I'm going to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you have an opinion on any of the topics that I have spoken about today, the comment section is the place for you. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.